How's everybody doing? Good. Before I start, listen, these events don't just happen, right? They don't just happen on their own. Let's give Sherry and my beautiful wife, Pamela, a huge, huge, huge round of applause. And one more thing. Give yourselves a round of applause. But before you do, who had something else you could be doing tonight? No, okay, 2 or 3 of you. Who had something else you could possibly be doing tonight? Yeah, and you chose to take the time out of your schedule for this. And I promise you, by the end of tonight, you will be glad, you're going to be grateful, and in fact, you'll be blown away by the time tonight ends. In fact, this program is guaranteed. If for any reason you are not 100% satisfied, at the end of the talk, go to the back of the room, go find Ted, he's in the back of the room, and he's going to give you a 100% refund on every dollar you spent to be here today. Okay, that's the humor portion of my talk. Okay. Okay, my normal audience, as you already heard, and my specialty is dealing with the inner game of weight loss. Today, this audience, you guys all look fantastic. So with your permission, I want to address the kids, the youth in the audience. Do I have your permission? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So parents, you need to leave. Sherry, escort them out, lock the doors. They're out. It's just us and the kids now, right? You guys with me? Yeah. Okay, so if you're under 4 foot tall, say yes. I'm the only one if you're under 5'5", this is a tall class, under 5'5", say yes. Yes. Awesome. Tonight we're talking about releasing your superhero. Who wants to learn how to release your superhero? Okay. Let me try one more time. I want to hear you this time. Who wants to learn how to release your superhero? Me. Okay. Awesome. And the reason I called it Release Your Superhero as opposed to Superhero Training, Superhero 101, Superhero School, which is S and S, so it's kind of cool, Superhero School. The reason is because the superhero is already inside of you. It's inside of you. It's inside of everybody in this room. We just forget sometimes. So what do you want? What must we do if we want to learn a new skill, a new trait, a new habit, a new pattern? What do? We find people who have that trait, that pattern, whatever it is that we want, and we do what's called copying. Adults will call it modeling, but let's be real. It's copying, right guys? It's copying. So what do superheroes have in common? If we're going to change this world, who would agree with me that you first have to change your world? You guys with me? You first have to change your world before you can change the rest of the world. That's what this thing's about. So what do superheroes have in common? Okay, they're very silent. No, they have superpowers. What else? We're going to study the 3 biggest traits. Would you agree that superheroes have a certain degree? What do they have? Tell me. Yes?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence. We're going to cover that. Awesome. Thank you for that. Who else has an idea? What do all superheroes possess? Yes, back there. They're awesome. They're awesome. They possess courage, don't they?
Yeah.
So let's talk about courage. What is courage? Yes?
Being brave enough to do something.
Awesome. Being brave. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's not being afraid. It's being afraid and moving forward anyway. I promise you, just like Sherry said, all the kids who spoke before me, who did give them a round of applause again. Give them a round of applause again. They felt fear, yet they moved forward to get their message out there, get their words out there, to change the world with one idea at a time. And that's what it takes. So I commend the students who broke through their fear. And as soon as the teachers in the 5th grade classes said, listen, we're doing a TEDx event, who wants to talk? Even the students who considered it for a second and said, I kind of want to do, they're raising their hand, even if you got the idea, maybe I commend you. I commend you. The next step is to do what a bunch of kids did and try out. Raise your hand and actually go for it. Face the fear and move forward anyway, right? And I commend you guys. And a bunch of those students, unfortunately, because of time constraints, which I'm under as well, couldn't speak. But you know what? They are superheroes anyway. Why? Somebody tell me why, please. Because they tried. Because they raised their hand and said, I'm in. Yes, I'm going to give it a shot. Yes, I'm going to do my best. Yes. And you know what? To be great, you have to take shots. You have to take chances. What if a superhero said, hey, you know what? I kind of want to fight crime, but these bad guys, they're getting nastier and nastier and nastier. They're kind of scary. Would that be effective? I'll give you a hint. Would that be effective? No. No. They have to face their fears and move forward. So, who here likes lobster? I know a bunch of adults like lobster. Okay, great. Lobsters go through a specific process to grow. Does anybody know about that process? They have to get rid of their shell. They have to molt. Is it molt? They have to molt their shell and actually break out of their shell and then grow a new shell. But what happens is it's very, very, very... Imagine being a lobster. Okay, you're in the ocean. And all of a sudden you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and your shell gets tighter and tighter and tighter. You have to actually pop off this shell in order to grow. And what happens once you step out, if you're a lobster and you crawl out of this shell, and it kills you to take the shell off, you don't have a shell anymore, right? Is that scary? Who would think it's scary to be in the ocean with all these crazy sea creatures and to not have a shell when you're a lobster? Also, yes. Also, you have these beady eyes, right? You have to pop the shell and be careful so the shell doesn't hit you in the eye. Can you imagine? I mean, that's sensitive stuff. It's a big deal to pop off your shell. However, once the lobster pops off that shell, it feels freedom, right? It begins to grow even more, even faster. There's so many adults that are kind of stuck in their shell, and they never broke out of the shell. They kind of build this, they've built almost a cage or the shell around them, and they get puffy, and they kind of don't move very free. They're a little bit slightly toxic because they're not able to move around. If you were to weigh or take two lobsters the same size, and one just left the shell, the other one's still in the shell, which one do you think is going to be heavier or bigger? Which one do you think? Yes.
The one that has freedom.
The one that has freedom is going to be bigger. That's correct. That's correct. So we have to face that fear, face that discomfort to break out of our shell. You guys know Jim Carrey? Anybody? The comedian Jim Carrey? Fantastic, amazing, unbelievable actor. Did you know Jim Carrey wanted to be a comedian? That was his goal. That was his dream. And when he first started, he started doing impersonations. So he'd hop up on the stage, he'd hop on TV, and do unbelievably amazing impersonations. In fact, everybody loved him. They were blown away with his impersonations. However, he wasn't a comedian. So he wanted to be a comedian, and he kind of developed this life, and he was ready to pop his shell. He was kind of getting ready. He's like, you know what, I got to be a comedian. And he would leave doing impersonations. He'd hop in, and he'd start doing stand-up. And what do you think happened? They couldn't stand him. It was horrible. It was horrible. So all of a sudden, he's like, oh my gosh, I bombed. I can't believe, I'm Jim freaking Carrey. I bombed. So he's back doing impersonations. Everybody loved him. Applause, standing ovations, everybody's excited. He's in his shell, but he's not living his dream. So Jim Carrey, to get where he is today, he had to pop off his shell, and he had to step into his superhero. He had to step into that next greatest version of him. And that's what being a superhero is. For you guys, it's stepping into the next greatest version of you. So, I don't know if they could stand it. Listen, these TEDx rules are extremely complicated. They're very complex. I know there's no pictures, so guys, no pictures, okay? Cameras down. Kids, what I want you to do is pop off your shell. I want you pop it off like this. You move your shoulders in, and I want you to pop it back. So pop it off and wiggle a little bit. Great. And I want you to to reach over to your neighbor and high-five your neighbor and say, you popped off your shell. Say it loud. Let me hear you. Get some life into you. What's another characteristic of superheroes? All superheroes that I've seen that are super, what do they possess? Strength, right? Physical strength, emotional strength to keep on going when times get tough. They possess strength. And we heard some talks about health, fitness, strength, muscle tone, vitality, life, energy, passion. I promise you it is not normal to hit a wall 3 p.m. It's not normal. It's common, but it's not normal. Superheroes have mastered the art of taking care of their bodies. Because once we take care of our bodies will take care of ourselves. Right? The healthier we eat, the more physically fit we are, the more healthy we are, the more energy we have, and the more productive we are. You guys with me? So superheroes, listen, we have a health crisis in this country today. In fact, it's worldwide, but this country more so than ever. We have 2/3 of the U.S. population overweight. We have 1/3 clinically obese. Not just obese, clinically obese. They brought scientists together. Over 50 countries participated. And for the first time in history, there are more adults, not kids, more adults dying from obesity as opposed to malnutrition. The first time ever. There's over 300,000 Americans dying every single year as a direct result, not a consequence, a direct result of obesity. That's not living into our superhero. That's over 822 people every single day. And the news is not covering this. They don't say, oh yeah, there's 822 people died of that. They jump right into, hey, American Idol's happening next week. I wonder what's going to happen with these singers. We have to focus on our health because our health begins here with you guys. So if you want to be a superhero, do exactly what the young lady said earlier. Take care of yourself. Respect yourself. Be careful of the food industry advertising. Be careful. $4.2 billion a year is spent just on fast food advertising alone. We have to set that aside. You guys with me? Yes. Okay, so number 3, what else do superheroes have in common? Somebody back there said it right off the bat. Confidence. Right? Do superheroes have confidence? Let me hear you. Yeah. Where does confidence come from? A lot of confidence comes from within. Most of our confidence comes from our belief systems. So kids, what do I mean by belief systems? Any ideas? Anyone? What's a belief system? Let me put it to you this way. My assistant, Leticia, goes to college. And she had a classmate of hers. They were studying for this test. And she asked the classmate, hey, did you study for the big test? It was actually a nutrition test, actually. The classmate says, no, I don't do well anyway, so I didn't worry about it. What do you think his belief system is? Yeah. If a person believes they're not a good student, are they going to put the time, energy, effort in? Yes or no? No. If a person believes, hey, you know what, learning, it kind of comes hard to me. It's difficult for me. I just don't have the mental capacity of all the other kids. They're raising their hands, they're sharing. You know what? It's just not my thing. I'm just not into it. If you believe that, how much time are you going to put in? How much work are you going to put in? How much effort you're going to put in? You won't, because your belief system is such that says it's not going to work anyway. You guys, does that kind of make sense? Listen, scientists spent 1.5 years, behavioral scientists and neuroscientists, studying the brain, the fantastic, the amazing brain. And they studied one thing, one part of the brain. And they asked the question, how many new connections, how many new ideas can the brain make? Because we know our brain's constantly making it's growing, it's making new connections if we use it. So what's the maximum? Where does it max out? 1.5 years. Here's what they found. If you take a regular college textbook, which is 450 pages on average. And if you write the number of connections, if you write a 1 in the beginning of the first page, normal font, and you run zeros on every single page, both sides, you would complete the entire book. And the zeros would continue off the page and continue for 6.2 million miles. 6.2 million miles. So we can't sit here and tell me we don't have potential. It starts here. Okay? In my adult audiences, if a person believes I'm big boned, I gain weight easily, it's from my mother's side. Oh, genetically, yeah, it's genetics. My metabolism's low. If they believe that, what are they going to do in their everyday life? They're going to follow that belief. So where do these limiting beliefs, where do these beliefs which are not serving us, where does the low self-esteem start? Generally, or sometimes, what's one of the contributing factors? No. 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 No, 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 no. No. Stop. Don't. Don't. Stop. Stop. That's wrong. Stop. What are you doing? Stop. You're crazy. That's my dad. You're crazy. You're crazy. What are you doing? You're crazy. I thought my name growing up was No, Crazy, or Stupid though. My dad's Greek from a Greek island. So he'd mix up stupid and idiado. Idiado means idiot, right? Village idiot, idiado. And he called me Stupido. So I thought my name was Crazy or Stupido. For every 1,000 no's a child is told, they get 1 yes. For every 20, 30, you can't do it, stop, that's wrong, do it over again, they get 1. You're awesome. You're fantastic. I'm here today to tell you that you are amazing. I'm here to tell you that you are fantastic. I'm here to tell you, in fact, that you're perfect. Just the way you are right now. And I want you to say to yourself every single day, I'm great. I'm fantastic. It's my time. And I'm growing. And I'm stepping into my superhero. I'm going to close with a story. A bunch of years ago, we had a family night going to the movies. And my son and I went to go see a shoot-'em-up movie, one of these great guy movies. I even forget the name. It was not that memorable, but we had a blast. My wife and my daughter, Katerina, who's somewhere here today. Katerina, say hi, wave. Give her a round of applause for being here and supporting Daddy and Mommy and Aunt Sherry. They went to go see Lion King on IMAX. Anybody see that? Yeah. Unbelievable. So we were in the shoot-'em-up movie. Our movie ended early, so we kind of went into the IMAX movie. And we kind of sneak in, quietly. We get to the front and we sit down in IMAX. And it's a big monster screen. Fantastic. The sound is booming all around. And we sit down. And I look up and there's a scene where Simba touches the water with his paw. The water kind of shakes. And he sees his dad's image in the water. And he hears his dad's booming voice that says, you are more than what you have become. You are more than what you have become. I'm like, this is the best movie ever. Oh my God. And I'm here to tell you and close with the fact. One thing I know for sure is that you are greater than what you believe you are right now. You have greatness within you. Have a great night, everybody. I'm glad you came.